Thank you for tuning in with Enchantress. That's me, the Babbler. That's me on this evolutionary uprise of Esprit. This is take 2 for whatever this message is going to speak of, because there's numerous messages in one upload. Trust me, I'm recording. So I was saying in video 1 before my daughter called me for the thing, my 100th time, patience, temperance is I. But dude, slow your roll. Insane she drives me, and she's like, I just want to talk to my mother. And that is, emotional manipulation 101 being used consciously, so, even though, it's not really meant. She's a ball buster. But anyways, that's not what this message is going to be about. We do have to dive into our parenting aspects as well, because Spirit has put that upon me to be a spokesperson of this kind of degree, to seed some new things about, our parenting that is harmful in many ways due to the conditioning of cycles of these plagues that we keep on cycling about. So identification is what's going to be what all of that is about. But again, like I was saying in video number 1 prior to her calling, was that, these kind of channelings and my channelings and my intuitive dial-ups and my babbles, okay? It's a lot, and there's still so much more that I have to filter through that does not get spoken or does not get expressed during the time that it's happening, because it's just so much. So of course I would be pivoted every single which way to speak like this, to speak like that, because the inner promptings of these channelings and stuff like that too, they have to give every single side story, back story, up story, behind story, root story that contributes to the part that's being expressed at the moment. And there's so many pieces that make up a whole. So there's so much things that need to be expressed, and everyone learns differently at best. And to be able to, it's just like a tarot reading, a general tarot reading, when you're giving, or pick a card and you're doing it for a general collective of energies that will synchronistically come into the download of the message that's being received in the tarot card reading that is being done by whomever it's being done by, and if you are in that kind of alignment with yourself, then of course you are going to synchronistically run into the reading that is for you. This be the truth. That's just the way that it works universally too. There's so many channelers that have their own ways of filtering out, the conduits that they are, messages that are being received for so many, whoever is channeling or synchronistically finding, searching, or who are on their own quest for knowledge and a power alignment, that of course supportive we are in our own energies, that we are noting and knowing the power behind the contribution, that we find ourselves spirited what are these inner lands that give us such grand commands of satisfaction or ideas to put into action, whether we follow through with the spirited innervations that take place. Now that's entirely up to each individual to now hold themselves accountable and like, let's take matters into face value. Like, are you just like a dial-up that doesn't make use of their dial-ups, you know? Which brings me into what the original posting of this video is. You see how even I don't even know how spirit is going to like invoke or communicate certain things that even I can't fully wholly see. But then even now as I continue to speak, I'm like, oh, by piece by piece by piece, I understand, even though you won't comprehend fully yet. Like, you know, I'm developing the dialogue that is coming out and to forth to explain something that is not fucking easy to do, especially when these sides of these lands beneath the veil are not tangible realities that I can grab onto and be like, here, look, spirit world, so you'll see it in my hand, you'll see, ooh, yeah, the lights in me, yes, this we do see. This is a feeling dial-up of a connect that due to our lack of poor conditioning that has created many throat chakra cock blockers for the majority of the human species in this life, those that do not even feel in the right or in the aligned to be able to express themselves authentically from inside and find multiple ways to be able to do these kind of things, whether they're acting out behaviorally that's toxic to them or finding creative outlets to be able to express these inner, you know, things that do occur beneath the surface of so many things, and yet are so like actively ignored because of the illusion fueled reality that is dominant in the society, that has us acting out many actions that are designed to keep us from that leveling of personal, intimate interaction with self, because you're so externalized in the environment that's around you. But that's neither here nor there. No judgment from me to here to there. I'm just only speaking with absolute divine channeling care. What can I say? This shit is right. Okay, so yes. So back to these spirited fevers. So when I was a little girl, I'm gonna give you the dramatics of something climactic. Now I'm trying to stay like focused because I see how this can get all hocus pocus, and because so much is coming in, my friends, this is me trying to explain that filtering system. See, I do many practices that help to, like if you wanted to look at it like a film, like those old school films, as downloads that can be received in images, even though not everything is an image that's being received. Sometimes it's just an inner knowing of a completion of things where the imagery is kind of instant, like lightning. So it's kind of like that spark of like ignite, like knowing. It's just bam, download. It's kind of like the imagery of like saving something, putting in a memory, like a card, thing. What's that? The thing that saves documents and stuff like that. And when you go to a new like computer space, you're that computer space, and you plug it in and you receive the instant download, like of whatever it is, the download. Depending on your leveling of speed of this download, you can be like that AOL kind of speed where it's loading still, and so many things created in between create a lot of disturbing kind of feelings or experiences to be experienced, like fevers. Okay, so not every fever is a sickness in that kind of way. You want to look at it like a kundalini kind of rising of an element. I have this to say. So, because it took for me to have a certain re-experience in my adult life after mastering the third-party perspective viewing that I had learned to value and make use of in my own meditations, in my own prayer, like just in my own reality of living, making this now actual part of my life, to be able to third party observe many things so that I don't get so caught up in the feelings of things, and it allows me to, through that third party detached perspective, to give actual like perspective to the overall of whatever is occurring around me, instead of being so reactive to everything. You know, we have to be mindful of how it is that we choose to interact with ourselves, and sometimes we're going to have to make choices that in the beginning, when we make them, if we do not honor the choices that we are making by switching up the behavior that is going to put into practice the transformation, the transmutation that is taking place due to the leveling of wisdom that you have now accumulated up until this point, and the inner knowing of what it beneficial transformation this is that's occurring, that does take time and does take practice to implement, especially if it's not part of your everyday life occurrence, that is a part of your lifestyle that has been taught to you. You see, it's kind of like the other video that I had said, I don't know which one, but when I was saying it's not that we are missing self-love, we are lacking the skills. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on over here. Okay, but anyways, we are lacking the developmental skills needed, and the behaviors and the knowledge needed that was never received in our lifetime, because it's not something that has been promoted or encouraged in our lives, most people's lives. I'm not saying everyone, but I'm just saying mostly everyone, because this is why the dominating energy is that too, of a superficial energy that is freaking completely absentee to these departments you see that have not been filtered out into, you know, the productivity of humanity as a whole. So now you have lifetimes that have instilled this leveling of nobody fucking knows, and so now to unwind that atmosphere, you're going to have to, in your state of constant awareness that comes through your consciousness lifestyle, you are going to have to take motherfucking notes of the things that are brought into your now awareness, and then the epiphanies that you will receive about certain things that you will see so clearly through your conscious, like, you know, your conscious your leveling of consciousness that operates on these 3D lands, like I got like ooh, see, this happens too. There's just so much, and then I am operating a freaking vehicle at this time, so I gotta be a little bit here in my this reality too. I gotta be mindful of that too. But I'm getting back into what I was saying because it's important to center in on these kind of waves. So anything that you are going to receive that requires a leveling of change, transmutation, transformation from you, because that's what's going to happen the more and more that you align with you, and the more advanced you become in your consciousness for self-living and just connectivity with all that is, the source that is, that you are, the creator that you are. The more and more you're going to be shown intuitively, something that you can't freaking hold out into this reality and say, see here, this is what intuition has revealed and given to me, this gift, this film showing me what I was missing and did not see or download up until now. And now I'm going to do myself proud, because in the same line of film that I was shown that of things that I do that contribute to this, that now that doesn't match with me, that needs to be transformed, changed, I acknowledge this in every kind of way. In my third party view, I'm not judging this film that's being shown to me too. I'm outside of that skew. And now with the next level of film that is being received, this epiphany within me that's in alignment with me, that is truth for me, that is being shown to see what I need to be, that is naturally here for me, but will require a certain level of discipline for me to implement for me, because it's not something that, even though I am consciously receiving now, up until I see myself proud doing this naturally, where it just comes like this, I know that there's going to be many things that are going to be continuously shown to me, because this life that I have lived has been quite a plenty up until this point of acknowledgement that I'm gifting plenty of that is healing for myself, that is helping my evolution at this time to be so again, I got distracted at this. Enchantress, the Babbles, that's me on this evolutionary spree. Yesterday someone had me laughing because they decided to mention and say, which is one of the most annoying things that people have to say when they mention anybody that has either ever smoked marijuana in their day, that, oh, do you know one of the signs and symptoms and things that marijuana cause? Memory loss, short-term memory loss, that kind of thing. So it's kind of funny, but anyways, to get into this upswing of things, so we're going to be shown many a kind of things that are designed not because we've mastered our third-party perspective in this kind of a line. Mastering this at this kind of time allows us to then receive the films, the downloads that are so amazing and wonderful to receive. But it's quite a lot of things, because remember, even in one thing you are receiving so many things. You could be implementing one thing but receiving 50 million other little things too, that in itself is just it's a lot, it's massive. So especially in the beginning when you're opening yourself up to this, because I have to start going, and I will touch base on this a little bit more later. And if you have any questions, especially if you are experiencing certain kind of things like a spiritual fever, or you keep getting really hot, this kundalini heat of arising, just know that, you know, and especially if you don't have any other symptoms like, you know, congestion or like flu-like symptoms, and you just literally like just you're just experiencing fever-like sensations, heavy visions, intense, increasing sound, like very sensitive to light and sound. You could be hearing like noises, voices, staticky kind of sounds. It may sound even staticky at first because it's overwhelming. I realized that too. It's not that it's static, it's that anything that, like I said, anything, this is just stuff that you can just like even research on your own. Just, you know, knowledge is power, okay? Like, do what you want, take what resonates, let go what doesn't. If it doesn't resonate with you, keep it moving, it doesn't matter. So it's just like anything that we experience in this world that we have never experienced before, and we try to explain it. This is what I was trying to say in one of the other videos that I was talking about like try to describe something that you have never seen before to somebody else, and try to explain the material of something, of a material that you've never seen before, a color you've never seen before. You know, try to explain that to somebody else, and it's like static. It's like so much noise because nothing comes out. It's just like that. So when you are like now becoming more open to this kind of experience, and you start getting like these feverish type things, spiritual fevers, they can last anywhere from up to 5 minutes to 2 days, a day. Spotty too, on and off. It's like one moment you're okay and then back again. The heat wave that comes up, the flush, your ears, the noise, the ringing in the ears, the voices. Now it's going to change, it's going to shift, it's going to be different for everybody depending on the leveling of openness and blocks you have created. For when I was little and I had experienced this, I was very young, and I used to get this randomly, and it would literally last, like, I have no concept of time, but like, let's say even in the nighttime, if I experienced this fever in the night and had these episodes in the nighttime, by morning I was fine. So just think about it. If you are sick with fever and you are sick with like flu or anything like that kind of too, you don't get a fever in the nighttime and then you're okay in the morning and go to school and go continue with your day and get ready like nothing happened the night before. That's not how we experience certain levels of earthly sick. So this is a spiritual sick. So this, like I said, can come and go really fast, but it's a lot of stuff. So during these times that we're experiencing these on kind of like overdrives, it's because we're on overload. And especially if you haven't learned to filter it out or understand it better for your overstand, then it's going to happen a lot more frequently, because it's an overload, and it's just like excess. It's like steam has to be let out, because, you know, that's why we have pores in our skin, like, you know, all these little holes, these little holes that we cannot see, that let out a lot of whatever it is that we are. And we are water too, you see. And so steam, this heat, this kundalini rise at this time. So being mindful of that too. So getting back to even just what I was saying about having questions for me. I receive so many freaking things, okay, all the time, and I try. I know I should take notes, and there will be times that I will come out looking like a freaking teacher, and with notes and maybe even a damn chalkboard. But like, for the most times when I'm being, right now, what's happening for me is getting used to the obeying of spirited guided messages that are being inspired inner inspired for me to just get on this recording spree. I gotta just record. And there's no preparation for that. And I'm in the middle of doing 50 million things because remember, I do so many things in this real world land. So on top of doing these videos, blogging, vlogging, whatever, you know, doing free stuff and doing paid stuff, like I have a life stuff, like, and I have like multiple jobs. So and this month too, part of like my own evolution of just listening to my own spirited guidance that I am receiving this month for me has been recovery of exhaustion, you see. And so it's now where I'm starting to get into like the momentum of these kind of things, and so I see the growth in this. So there's a lot of things I'm still catching up on, especially the free stuff that I've offered to people and stuff. You just gotta wait. Like, there's a lot of things going on, and there's so much on my plate, and I'm not gonna overexhaust myself in any kind of way. So I'm flowing into this create. So, and I'm also learning to not over promise or over give myself as I've always done, which depletes me of energy. We have to honor ourselves. 26, 88, 16, 7. Okay, so on that note, any questions, please do. If you are finding yourself experiencing these spiritual kind of fevers that have you feeling really, truly overwhelmed, sad, the sensitivity, your heightened sensitivity, and we're in Piscean season in the Western Hemisphere, which is believed and dominating of the energy anyway, so even though if there's other influences in the mix, that is part of the infusion anyways, but that's not what I'm talking about at this moment, but still. Yeah, so that's pretty cool too. Thank you for tuning in with Enchantress the Babbler. That's I on this evolutionary high. If you have questions, engage with me, guys. For a list of our services, my services, please, send me an email, enchantressthebabbler@gmail.com. Remember, I think I introduced in one of my other videos about services being offered by Venus Sublime and I at this time, and so I have to make sure that I note that in my stuff here because that is what's up. So I gotta go. I will see how spirit moves me later because there's a lot of things that I have to do and complete at this time. So on this evolutionary high, thank you guys.